Okay, so construction estimate. Construction estimate is basically all you need to do is find out these three things. Number one, number of units that you will be developing. So if you're developing apartments, townhouses, condominiums, does not matter. So long as you know that if you buy a block of land, how many of those units are you going to develop? You need to find out what is the average area of that unit that you're going to develop is going to be. Whether it's square meter or square feet doesn't matter, but you need to figure out an average size of the built area, because that is the basis for you to calculate the construction cost. Or if you don't have these two, the third thing that you need to have is basically a ballpark figure of what that unit is going to cost for construction. This is super important, and this is you can find this out easily. So whatever area that you are at, and if you've got developments going on in that area, usually those construction sites have details of the builder that's gonna be there. Pick up the phone, call them up, and figure out, if I'm building something like this, and there are 10 townhouses in there, what is the ballpark figure to build a townhouse, which is X square meters in size of the built area, and what is your ballpark figure? So they might come up and say, okay, it's going to cost you about $375,000 in order to actually build a unit, a townhouse. So you can either go by the square meter rate, or you can go, or the square feet rate, or you can go by a ballpark figure for that. See, what we are trying to do is run numbers on a site in under a minute. And the reason we do that is because we haven't got all the information, all pieces of the puzzle given to us. But when you are trying to make an offer on something, and when you are trying to determine whether or not you should go after this site, or whether or not this site has any profit left in it, you can't be doing a detailed feasibility on every site that you come across, or you find, or every potential site. There is not enough money, and there is not enough time for anyone or any developer to do a full detailed feasibility on site, especially in the preliminary stage, where at this stage an agent gave you a call, or you came across a site that you think has potential for development. And at that stage, you want to save time, and you want to save your resources, so that you can run numbers and figure out whether or not you need to go a step further in this project. So that's where we are at. So let's look at what it looks like. So if this is your construction estimate, you figure out the number of units you're going to develop. So say, for example, this is a straightforward 4 townhouse site, or 4 apartments, or 6, 10, 14, it does not matter. So if you've got 10 apartments, for example, you put in 10, that's what it's going to be. And you figure out what the average built area per unit is going to be. So if it's 150, 100, does not matter. But if you put 100, just leave that as 100. Then the other thing that you need to select is that construction cost per square meter or square feet. And because we've got GST selected, everything will show up as GST. If it wasn't, again, this would come out as NA, and you don't have to worry about any of that. But let's say we've got GST in there, and we know that the units that I'm going to build, 10 of them, each are going to be 2-bedder, and they're going to be 100 square meters each, for example. And my cost of construction is $1,650. That's all you do here. That's all you need to do in this section in order to get to a value that you can use in your feasibility for construction. Now, when we do these numbers, we do it for each individual unit, because we are averaging out the numbers for the entire project, and that is the only way to do it really quickly and efficiently. So yeah, the other option in here is that construction cost per unit. So what you need to do here is, if you say that, look at the construction cost here. So we've got the construction cost falls down to 1750, because it's going to multiply that with 100 over there. So let's say your average built area for that is going to be 100. But now what you need to figure out is that If I'm going to build something like that, it's going to be 210,000 per unit. So you need to put in a different value in there, because that is what the basis of your construction costs are. So right now, it's not even going to worry about the 100 square meters or not. If you don't know that, make sure you select construction cost per unit. Now that's a ballpark figure where you picked up the phone and called a construction contractor or a builder saying, hey, a townhouse, 100 square meter, 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom, what is it going to cost me to build? And the builder said to you, look, they average about 200,000 with medium finish, and that's the number you are going with over here. So, but if you've got more details, if you've done this before, if you run numbers on similar projects before, and you know what that is going to be, you just go with construction cost per square meter or square feet. And in that scenario, you put in the value. You must know that value, because otherwise you won't be able to get to that section over there. You won't be able to get an accurate number for construction right here. So I've left that at 100, and let's say we leave that at 4, because that's what because otherwise my profit is going to jump and go through the roof. So right now it's telling me, because my square meter rate is about 210,000, that's why it's giving me an incorrect number. So let's say it's 1700, and I put in the 1700 value. I know that I'll be able to build each unit at $1,700 a square meter. Now, if it applies GST, this number has to be including GST. So let's change that to 150, because I'm trying to build 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom units, and that's what they're going to, with standard finish, and they will cost me about $700 a square meter, flat block of land, and I have my construction cost per unit. So I'll catch you in the next video.